there are people who, now of course, when people come to your house, you would have seen that, you know, they bring a lot of tools along with them, and then they give you a list of these things. So the list I've already told you, but they use brushes. Now brushes, you know, bring certain mark to the surface, then they use roller to kind of, and, you know, spread it evenly. Now there are techniques which have spray machines which spread these, you know, paints, obviously very evenly. We have got spray guns which give us different textures. So all this, you need to, you know, touch on this on a very basic note. So as we progress in this particular skill, we'll talk in detail about it. You also need to know, you know, which companies are, you know, providing what kind of in paints. So we have Asian Paints which have certain USPs. We have Narrow Leg, Berger Paints, Nippon Paints, Shalimar Paints, and so many, you know, paints available with us. And you would see a lot of ads on it. आप अगर उनकी ads को ठीक से observe करेंगे तो वो अपने USPs के बारे में बात करते हैं कि हम, you know, green paints बनाते हैं, हम sustainable paints बनाते हैं, हम lead free paints बनाते हैं. तो this is all general knowledge that you need to know about. So whatever that I've talked about is the present materials that are available. But in your history books or in your, you know, school times, you would have visited a lot of historical buildings also. So तब क्या होता था? तब तो हमारे पास नैरो लेक पेंट नहीं था, शालीमार पेंट्स नहीं थे, बर्जर पेंट्स नहीं थे हमारे पास. Then what our ancestors were doing? So somewhere they were using some kind of natural material which was there. Now we have cement based paint. So the, you know, the natural material which is similar to cement is lime, which is available there. So were they using lime? I don't know. When I was a child, हम लोग बोलते थे घर में सफेदी हो रहा है. So slaked lime was used. So we are very well aware of it. But I think in your school times, since you are in class 11 or 12, you would definitely be, you know, studying these basic things. And what were the techniques, you know, being used for that? Very basic of that. क्या stucco use होता था? Stucco क्या होता है? So I'm just throwing these words to you. Just pay attention to it, and then, you know, you can make your what do you say, build your knowledge on it. Of course, we'll be sharing, you know, certain links with you. We'll be sharing certain study material with you. We'll go through that to have more on this. um, I think now it's time. I call on my expert and my colleague Ruchira Behel, who is also associate professor at Pearl Academy, to take you through, you know, what you are supposed to do with elements of design and, sorry, principles of design and principle and elements of design, and move further. Then we have another expert, so we'll be followed. Then you will have a talk with our, you know, very senior. Dean and head of department, who would be talking about, you know, how you can take this up as careers. What are the different careers waiting for you once you acquire this particular skill? And we also have our colleague Richard Bara, who is a cost leader for interior design, who are absolutely into these, you know, surface decoration and things. And he will take you through, you know, how can you make this, connect this to a particular discipline and move further with this particular skill. Over to you, Ruchira. Thank you.
Thank you, Renuka. Good morning, guys, all of you. Now I'm starting with basic fundamentals of elements and principles. Before starting, I would like to first say, why do we need to understand principles and elements of design? The reason is when we combine these principles and elements, they come together to form a composition to create aesthetically pleasing surfaces and to optimize user experiences. So, yeah, Richard, next slide, please. So the basic elements of design that we have are line, form, and shape, and textures, colors, and patterns. So we'll just take you through how you can use these basic elements to create interesting surfaces and create a good visual composition. Uh, Next, yeah. So starting with the first and the most fundamental, which is the lines. A line is basically a series of points connected together. So quality of a line is it leads the eye of a person from one point to the other point. So if you see in the first image, there is a series of horizontal lines which I am using to create a illusion of a broader room. Similarly, in the second image, I see there are a set of vertical lines which take my eye up from the floor to the ceiling, giving the illusion of a heightened space. Using curvilinear lines also adds to the softness of a space. So just understand how by using simple element like a line, I can create or modulate a space in an interesting manner. Moving further, Richard. Yeah. So moving further, we have forms and shapes. Now, all of you know what is a form and what is a shape. Shapes are basically two-dimensional objects. You have circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, and all these kinds. So how can I get shapes to create an interesting pattern on a wall? Similarly, forms, all of you know, are three-dimensional objects. How can I add that visual depth in an object or a 2D surface to create that impression of a form can also be done on a 2D surface to create a very interesting composition like the image that you see on the right hand side. Moving forward, we have other elements like color, texture, patterns, etc. So now how I can play with colors? Colors are basically used in any composition to draw attention into any space. So the moment I use colors, it creates a very interesting feel or gives a mood to a particular space. It is also used to draw attention in a particular surface. Similarly, when I do play with patterns, which is done in the central image, you will see there is a repetition of element or a repetition of a symbol that keeps on taking place. This is how we generate a pattern. So pattern also leads to break in the monotony of a surface. So I can use patterns very judiciously to come up with again very interesting surfaces. Next, moving on to playing with textures. Textures also can enhance the surface appeal of any space or any pattern. So playing with textures, so textures are basically smooth, textures can be rough also. So you can play with textures and create a very different look and feel to an entire wall after using these. Coming up next, so once I use these basic elements in any space, how do I put them together to form a good composition? So here I will follow certain set of principles which are balance, rhythm, emphasis, contrast, movement, harmony, proportion, and scale. Now let us see how I can use these principles and the elements that I had done before to come up with an interesting composition to say a nice story. Uh, Starting with balance. So what do you mean by balance? Balance is basically it's a sense of visual equilibrium. If you see, there are two types of balance. One is symmetrical balance and asymmetrical balance. So symmetrical balance, you will find there is equal visual weight on both sides of the fulcrum. Whereas in asymmetrical balance, the visual weight is balanced by not using the same size, but visually it still looks very appealing and aesthetically pleasing. So as I interpret this into my interior wall surface or any decoration part, next, yeah, Richard, next slide. Yeah. So as I interpret balance into my interior wall surfaces, you will see how I have tried to create asymmetrical balance and a symmetrical balance. In the asymmetrical balance, you will see how the composition comes up where there is no central line dividing the entire thing. And in a symmetrical balance, you will see there is equal division of both the units creating a very distinct center line. Next, the way I play movement and rhythm into any space. Now, what do you understand by rhythm and movement? Rhythm is basically repetition of any form, colors, textures, lines, patterns, or shapes to create a movement in a space. So the way I play these can lead a surface to a very interesting form, which is in the form of a rhythm. So I can create surfaces which will show me a lot of momentum generated by just play of simple tools or elements to create a rhythm in the space. Yeah, next, emphasis. Now in emphasis, if you see, emphasis is a point where I want to draw attention of my user. So in this particular image, you will see the yellow quadrilateral that I have made is the point of emphasis where my eye is led onto that wall. So whenever I try to create emphasis on a surface, I would take my viewer's eye directly onto that wall. Next, scale and proportion. So whenever we are doing a composition for painting and decoration, you will always find scale and proportion is one of the most important aspect of any composition. You need to have scaling of one object to another in terms of sizing. So basically, it is a relationship of one object to another in terms of size. So we try to keep scaling of composition in proportion to the people who are using that space. Next. Okay, so whenever I create a nice composition or an aesthetically pleasing surface, you will find these elements and principles do not work in isolation. They work in a number of manners. So in this particular composition that you see, there are a number of principles and elements which have been used together. So I have created balance, which is an asymmetrical balance. There is harmony overall in the composition. There is emphasis by use of contrasting color. There is a very smooth texture. There is contrast again in terms of color. And then there is repetition of a module also. So you see, there are a number of principles that come together to form a composition. And this is how we create compositions and surfaces and try to come up with a good storyline for any vertical surface. Next. Again in this composition, you will see there are a number of elements which are playing. So there is balance, which is symmetrical balance with that image. There is harmony overall. There is emphasis. Again, emphasis is created by use of color and form. There is texture. If you see the background, there is a lot of texture in the background. There is contrast. There is a contrast in the background color and the foreground symbol. And then there is repetition also happening. So you see in both these compositions, there are a number of elements and principles which come together to form a very good composition in terms of design. So this is how you will see how we can create by using permutation and combination of various elements and principles to come up with these aesthetically pleasing surfaces or walls and add to the story of the entire space. So if you are interested more in learning about these principles and elements of design and composition, next. These are some of the resources which you can go through and work around.
Okay, guys. So now I, Priyanka Khattar, I will be taking forward this element of design which Ruchira ma'am just spoke about, that is color. Color is used to draw attention, as she mentioned earlier. So here I will be talking about colors slightly in depth, and I will be familiarizing you towards how color can be used in interiors and what are the associated terminologies that are used with colors. So moving forward, whenever we talk about color, it is first very important to understand a color wheel. Without a color wheel, you will not be able to understand the relationship between each and every color. So basically, what is a color wheel? Color wheel, it is a circular chart which you can see, which basically shows the relationship between each and every color which you can see in the circular spectrum. So now moving forward, whenever we try to understand a color wheel, it is very important to understand three elements which is associated with it, that is primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. So first, understanding about primary colors and secondary colors. So primary colors basically has three colors, that is red, yellow, and blue. And secondary colors are again another set of three colors, that is orange, green, and purple. So, but when we talk about secondary colors, how are secondary colors formed? So secondary colors are formed by putting or by mixing together one primary color with another primary color. So in this case, you will see when we have mixed a red color with a yellow color, we have achieved a orange color, which is a secondary color. Similarly, when we have mixed a yellow color and a blue color, we have achieved a green color, which is again a secondary color. Likewise, when we have mixed a blue color and a red color, we have achieved a purple color, which is again a secondary color. So this chart very clearly shows primary colors is a set of three colors, that is red, yellow, and blue. Secondary color is a set of three colors, that is orange, green, and purple. So moving forward, now we will talk about tertiary colors. So when you look into the circular chart, so with the blue arrows, you will see these are your primary colors, that is red, that is yellow, red, and blue. And your secondary colors are orange, green, and violet. So when we mix one primary color and one secondary color, we get a tertiary color. So in this case, red, orange is a tertiary color. Similarly, when we mix when we mix one secondary color with one primary color, so we get a tertiary color. So this chart shows you how we mix one primary color and one secondary color to achieve a tertiary color. So moving forward, the next slide will show you very clearly how we arrive at tertiary colors. So in the color wheel, we have seen we have three sets of primary colors, we have three sets of secondary colors. So this chart gives you a clear image. When we mix one primary color with one secondary color, we get a tertiary color. So in this case, you will see when we are mixing red with violet, we are getting red violet as a color. When we are mixing red with orange, we are getting red orange as a color. And when we are mixing yellow and orange, we are getting a yellow orange, right? So these are some of the examples, but even you can further explore, and if you feel you want to mix yellow and violet, you can do that and see what color you will get. So understand, tertiary color is always when we combine one primary color and one secondary color together. So now moving forward, these are basic terms which we have understood, that is primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Another associated terms which you should know are about the warm colors, cool colors, neutral colors, monochromatic, and analogous. So see, in this case, now starting from analogous colors, what are analogous colors? So in the color wheel, the colors which are adjacent to each other, those are known as analogous colors. So in this color wheel, you will see yellow, yellow, orange, 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 red, and red. These colors are known as analogous because these are adjacent to each other. So similarly, when we
I
Ruchira,
think, yeah, I
yeah.
think her screen was frozen.
So Ruchira, you can take
Yeah.
over.
Okay. So when we combine these red, green, and blue, this is known as RGB, where we combine red, blue, and green colors together, and they all come together to form a white. So yeah, moving forward. Again, color is also related to a lot in terms of psychology. A color in a space will have a lot of effect on the human psyche. So if you see, we have colors which are calming and have a peaceful nature. There can be white, off-white, pastel shades. Then there are colors which generates a lot of energy and vibrancy. There are colors which generate purity. There are colors which will lead to a lot of happiness also in a space. So if you see yellow color, so most of the time you will see, even in McDonald's logo, you will always find yellow as the color which is used for M, which shows that yellow is a very appetizing and happy go lucky kind of a color. So that is why color psychology is also used in creating surfaces and doing paintings in interior spaces because it leads or it has a lot of effect on the user of that space. So whenever we tend to choose colors for walls, we also understand what is the purpose that space is particularly used for. So is it for working? Is it for where I need to be focused? Or is it for various kinds of other activities? Now, in this case, if you see, red color is a basically energetic color. It is also referring to a lot of passion, referring it to like a signal that you see. Red always means stop. Yellow means start getting ready. So basically, it is more of it is also having a lot of cheerfulness in the space. And similarly, green is where you get the signal to go. Or green is also used very close to nature and has a lot of calming effect on a person who's using space in a green setup. Yeah, moving forward. So now in this composition, you see how a neutral background with gray is created an element of interest by using a play of yellow and these red and orange colors. So just see how a color can enhance the look and feel of any space and create that element of wonder. A very good or a judicious way in which you can use color is reflected in such a manner. Next. Now, when you see, these are the basic associated that we have basic associated characters we have with the color. Like white and gray refers to purity, pink refers as a more feminine color, red is energetic and proactive color, orange is basically youthful, aggressive color, yellow is again cheerful and happiness, green. So every color comes with a psychology of its own, and a designer or a good person who is doing spaces can judiciously choose the psychology of the space and choose the color accordingly. Yeah, so if you want to know more, you can go and see color psychology also on the net. Similarly, blue, purple, brown, and black. So even blue is used for confidence, stability, honesty. Purple is used for royalty. Brown for more simplicity, down to earth, sustainable materials. And black again, luxury, power. So this is how color is also used in terms of psychology. So a person who's coming with a good design will always use color in a very judicious manner depending upon the activity that space is designing for. So these are certain resources, again, which you can go and inquire and refer to on the net and have more information on color and color psychology. Yeah, Priyanka.
Okay. So, Renuka, would you like to add anything before I move on with the last bit of the presentation?
Please continue, Richard. There are a lot of questions in the chat box. I'm answering those students on that, question and answer thing. So there are questions about primary colors. There are questions about secondary
Okay.
colors, and I'm doing that. You please continue with this.
Okay, all right. So, when we talk about our five senses, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and seeing, these are the ways we get our information about the world. But the world of humans, by far gets most of the information, almost 90% of what we know comes through our vision. And what we see is color. So, color is one of the most important elements of design, and visual design to be more specific. Color is a visual experience, a sensation of light that cannot be verified by any other sense, be it touch, be it taste, be it smell, or even hearing. You know, you know, it is the light that generates color. Without light, there is no color. So if I turn off the lights of a room at night, I won't see anything, and which also means I won't see any color. Okay. In a normal scenario, we have light. We either have the sunlight or we have the tube light. Now, when we talk about color perception and human response, When we perceive color, we experience it consciously or unconsciously, both ways. Color generally influences our perception of volume, weight, size, temperature, noise, sound, odor, taste, and sometimes even our tactile associations. For example, darker colors appear heavier while lighter colors seem less dense. Colors that are considered warm are usually red, orange, and even yellow, while colors which are associated with cool settings are usually shades of blue, shades of green, etc. And these associations, one second, please. These associations play a very key role in the overall design of the built environment, about which I will talk in my uh, upcoming slides. Now, how does color change the perception of interior space? you know an understanding of color psychology and symbolism plays a very vital role in choosing colors for interior spaces. you know all of us know that humans spend most of their time indoors, whether be it at work, home, shopping malls, schools, airports, theaters, hospital, restaurants, you name it and you are there. you know Studies have shown that we spend almost 87 to 88% of our time indoors. A pleasant indoor environment positively influences the mood and well-being of its occupants. Just as the color of an abstract painting or a photograph can produce a certain mood, a certain emotion just by looking at it. Similarly, the colors of a building or the colors of a room highly influence of how the people using it feel. Altogether, if I have to sum it up in one line, the way a room is colored can have interesting and complex effects on how its users feel about it. And that is why the role of an interior designer is extremely important today. When designing any space, the interior designer has the power to alter a lot of things, be it the furniture, its location and size, the placement of doors and windows. You know, with all these flexibilities, I would say the designer can get any kind of desired spatial experience for the user, for the occupant. But when I talk about furniture and doors and windows, all these things cannot be changed very frequently. It takes a lot more than that. So, but there is one thing which can drastically change the whole experience, the whole perception of a space, very quickly without even changing an inch of the wall. And that can be done by painting the surfaces using different materials or applying different kinds of coatings, different kinds of surface treatment. Now, when I say surfaces can be painted, what do I exactly mean? If you guys can see this black and white image on your screen, this is an image of a room, and intentionally it has been kept black and white. So when I say surfaces, these are the different surfaces which you can see highlighted in yellow. The first type of surface are all the floors, where the color can be changed to create a certain mood. The second type of surface are all the ceilings, where again I can do a lot and alter the way a person experiences the space. And the third and the most important is the walls. So if I have to collectively look at it, this is by far our playground. You know, Lighter and cooler colors make the space appear larger. Darker colors make them appear more closed and smaller to the eye. The arrangement of colors and textures in an environment completely change the perspective, making the room appear taller, longer, wider, or sometimes even highlighting a particular element on a wall. So, again, if I have to give you an example and talk about how colors change the perspective of perception of an interior space, here we have listed some possibilities of changing an environment using only colors and only colors. Right now, what you can see on the screen is an empty room with a window on the right wall. Just by slight modification, if I want to create a feeling of spaciousness, the best method is to use light colors, which will reflect all the natural light and make the surfaces appear much larger to the eyes. On the other hand, when the idea is to make the room appear more compact, more smaller, more cozier, opting for stronger, bolder colors on the wall surfaces can work really well. They would absorb most of the light, giving the feeling of enclosure, and that can be beneficial for certain kind of activities. There are times when lowering the height of the ceiling can make the space more pleasant, providing a very welcoming feeling. When painting it in a darker tone than the walls or leaving the material texture visible, this feature gives the impression that the ceiling is much lower. In other situations, it's just the opposite. There are apartments whose ceiling is so low that we get a claustrophobic stuck feeling. Painting the walls in the darker color and leaving the ceiling white appears the ceiling to be higher than it actually is. Painting the back wall and the ceiling with the same dark color and leaving the side walls lighter will make the space appear much more spacious and much more wider. And this is a technique which is very commonly used while coloring corridors and very narrow rooms. If we have painting the two opposite side walls in dark colors and leaving the background and the ceiling in a light color will make the space much more narrower to the eyes, improving the proportions of the room with unbalanced dimensions. Moving forward, when we have a very big space, sometimes if we have a very large hall in our homes and we want to feel a little bit more intimate, it is a good idea to invest in dark tones on the back wall, in contrast to lighter colors everywhere else. Sometimes when we want to highlight a particular wall, it is recommended to keep a lighter color while others have the darker tone to it. And this automatically draws the attention to that wall, which could usually be the feature wall. And then the last one, shortening of the walls. If the idea is to make the walls appear shorter, applying a dark band at the bottom of the wall really works. So, having said all these things, choosing the right combination for the walls and for the ceiling is a major part of our game. And these are some of the these are some of the tricks interior designers use to make a space more suited for anyone and everyone. And trust me, this is just scratching the surface of the iceberg. There are many more interesting layers to play with and juggle around. In today's times, everyone is so much more informed and are willing to go that extra mile to customize and to personalize the overall look and feel of the spaces they occupy, the overall aesthetics of any interiors, be it their home, be it their office, be it their study, whatever. And that is why I say that professions like interior designers, interior decorators, color consultants are in huge demand in today's times, and they certainly have a very bright future ahead. So with this, we come to the end of our presentation. Renuka, may I request you to take it forward from here?
So yeah, a lot of questions popping up in question and answer rounds, and I'm trying to answer them all simultaneously. So students are, I'm really happy to see they are curious about color psychology. They're talking about, what color affects what, and what are the MCQs about, where are we going to get the study material from, you know but see guys, calm down. You're definitely most welcome to answer, ask these questions. You will get study material from us. There are few resources that been shared here in this particular presentation, but soon you'll get more from here. You'll also get information on, you know, where they are stored and from where can you access that. So that is not a issue. So this was whatever our experts right now spoke about was very basic about, you know, uh, what includes painting and decoration and what you need to learn to become a expert into this. So it is a long process. आज हमने बहुत बेसिक सा बात किया है कि होता क्या है, क्योंकि डिज़ाइन एलिमेंट्स को जानना, डिज़ाइन कैसे डेवलप करते हैं, ये जानना बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था. I can still answer more questions. You're most welcome to ask them in the chat box. But now I would request our Dean, Mr. Tingbin Tang, to come in and guide us more onto this. Welcome, Tinbing. And after Tinbing, I would request our Head of Department, Mr. Arun Bhardwaj, to take over. I welcome you both on board. Please take over, Tinbing. It's all yours.
Yes, thank you, Renika. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Bin Tan. I'm the Dean of School of Design at Para Academy. And I'm so happy to say all of you have signed up for the painting and the decoration courses. At this course, you are not just going to learn about color, texture, pattern, perspective, form, composition, and so on and so forth. Actually, you will learn a visualization tool, all the visualization tools, principles, and techniques for you to be able to visualize your imagination. I'm sure every one of you are very innovative, full of imagination. So in the future, if you want to decorate your own house, at Para Academy, at School of Design, we have interior design major you can choose. If you like to decorate or designing or painting all kinds of products, we use all kinds of products every day, from the car your parents are driving, from the cups, the laptop, the mobile phone you're using. We have product design program as well. I just noticed some students mentioned she like to make clothes for the Barbies, so we also have fashion design major in Para Academy. And I know a lot of you guys maybe also use mobile apps. You use Snapchat, you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook. So we also have a lot of interaction related UI UX design programs for you to choose in the future. And besides of that, many of you guys may also like to play games. We have game design, animation design. So we have a lot of choices for your interest. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the future in Para Academy campus, and I will be welcoming you to and guiding you guys to the exciting career in the future for as a designer. Thank you.
Thank you, Tingben. Friends, उन सब बच्चों के लिए जो शायद इंग्लिश या समझ नहीं पाए या बोलते नहीं है, मैं उनके लिए संक्षेप में बता दूं जो हमारे डीन ने अभी आपको बताया कि स्कूल ऑफ डिजाइन में हमारे पास 3 स्कूल्स हैं, स्कूल ऑफ प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन, इंटीरियर डिजाइन एंड कम्युनिकेशन डिजाइन। और अभी जो आप देख रहे हैं, जो आपको पेंटिंग और डेकोरेशन के बारे में जो कुछ बताया जा रहा है, वो हमारे फैकल्टी हैं जो स्कूल ऑफ इंटीरियर डिजाइन से हैं, और ये आपको बताएंगे और सिखाएंगे कि किसी भी इंटीरियर स्पेस को कैसे डेकोरेट किया जा सकता है, कैसे संवारा जा सकता है, कैसे बनाया जा सकता है। वो इंटीरियर स्पेस कुछ भी हो सकता है, वो आपका घर हो सकता है, वो कोई रेस्टोरेंट हो सकता है, कोई म्यूजियम हो सकता है, कोई ऑफिस हो सकता है। और इसके अलावा अगर आप लोग इंटरेस्टेड हैं मोबाइल ऐप्स में, एनिमेशन में, गेमिंग में, तो हमारे पास एक कम्युनिकेशन डिज़ाइन का कोर्स है जिसमें UX UI और इन सब का सिखाया जाता है। और इसके अलावा एक हमारे पास कोर्स है प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइन का, जिसमें जितने आपके इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्ट्स हैं जो आप इस्तेमाल करते हैं, एक्सेसरीज हैं, ज्वेलरी हैं, वो सब सिखाया जाता है। तो पर्ल एकेडमी में आपकी क्रिएटिविटी को सजाने के लिए, संवारने के लिए पूरा इंतजाम है। तो हम लोग उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप में से कुछ लोग हमारे पास आएंगे और हमारे साथ एक कोर्स करेंगे, और हमें उतना ही मजा आएगा जितना आज आ रहा है। Yes, Renuka, can you? I just translated what you said, Tingbin, in a local language.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, guys. So I am answering all the questions that they are in chat box, but in case you have other questions, I would relate it to what our Dean, Mr. Tinbing, spoke about, and what our HOD Arun Bhardwaj spoke about in Hindi. आप लोग वो क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकते हैं. हमारे पास एक टीम है स्पेसिफिकली जो इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस को आंसर देने के लिए. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट हु वी आर, व्हाट करियर पाथ्स, and how you can contact us and things like that, I would request the marketing team to take over and answer all those questions. आप लोगों के कुछ सवाल हैं जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं हमारे, आप वो सवाल पूछ सकते हैं हमसे.
Renuka, there is a question. Ma'am, can you tell me what is neutral and temporary?
Neutral and temporary in what context that you're asking?
Eti Bansal.
No, I want to, I'll just take this over. I'm not able to find this question, but neutral or temporary, किस context में पूछ रहे हैं वो जानना ज़रूरी है. Can you tell me what is neutral? Iti Bansal. So Iti, I can see your question. Can you please specify आप neutral और temporary colors के context में पूछ रहे हैं या क्या पूछ रहे हैं? Priyanka, you can take over if we can talk about it in color context. You're an expert on that, and then Ruchira can take over. We can, I think, answer in both the ways.
So I think if Priyanka is not here, I can take that question.
Please.
What I understand she is asking is, when we talk about a neutral color or a neutral shade, neutral is basically something which is very even and doesn't really go towards the warm color palette or a cool color palette. Okay, neutral colors would also form the base or the backdrop on which certain colors can be act as highlighters. So any color which is toned down drastically, much closer to the white and black tones, will form a base color or a neutral color.
There is another question. Can you please explain secondary colors again?
I will take it forward and back. So I guess everyone has understood what Richard sir just said. So in a nutshell, just to explain it to you, neutral color you can also consider as a color which has no color. So no vibrant color, like no yellow color, no red color. So the colors which come as neutral color is basically whites, grays, beigeish, and black. That is considered as a neutral color palette. So which is very soothing to the eye as well. So now coming forward to another question, as Veera ma'am asked about the secondary colors. So basically, secondary color is formed by adding any two primary colors. So in the color wheel, as you have seen, it is a spectrum of many colors. So basically, first, how a secondary color is formed, you have to understand what are the primary colors. So if you will go to the reading materials, you will understand red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors. And when you mix one primary color to another primary color, you will get a secondary color. So secondary colors are orange, green, and purple.
Rishika, you have a question. Where do we get the notes for studying? We are compiling a resource list which will be provided on the website. You can go and access from there, and then you have to study as per the links provided to you. Then Devang has a question. What are the examples of light?
Bella, I have answered him, because light in what context he is asking. I'm waiting for his response on that, because in general, light itself is such a big topic that we can keep on asking. तो वो light के बारे में पूछना क्या चाह रहे हैं, मैंने उनसे पूछ लिया है. A lot of students are asking questions कि कब है हमारा
First
exam
round
for
is
MCQ?
first round is on the 17th of July, and the timing will be shared by NSDC on Junior Skills website. It is a 1-hour test project, and I would like to tell you that whosoever attempts it, as fastest finger first, and who have the maximum number of correct answers would be the winners. So you will, those who are the winners will go on the level 2. We would again hold a webinar with the shortlisted students who win in the first round will go on to the level 2, and those who win in the level 2 will go to level 3 and level 4, as already Renuka ma'am has talked. Hopefully, if COVID subsides, we will have it physical. Otherwise, we'll have to think some other way out, which has not been decided yet. And I think I answer your question.
So Goral has a question that do we need to know the basics of interior design? See, you don't need to know the basics of interior design. हमने जो बेसिक आपको कराए हैं वो जनरल कोई भी डिजाइन आप पेपर पे भी डेवलप करोगे तो उसमें वो काम आते हैं, वो एक स्किल डेवलपमेंट है, क्योंकि अभी तक हम जो भी पेपर पे ड्रॉ करते थे या आप स्कूल में कुछ भी करते थे, वॉट एवर वॉज इन योर माइंड, तो कहीं ना कहीं आप जब वापस जाओगे आप देखोगे कि जितनी हमने बातें की आप कॉन्शियसली अनकॉन्शियसली उसमें कुछ ना कुछ सिमेट्री होगी, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे कलर्स होंगे जो एक दूसरे से एक रिलेटेड होंगे. द ओनली थिंग वाज दैट वी वर नॉट नोइंग इट. Now at this webinar we have very deliberately told you that this is it. अब आप उसको कॉन्शियसली यूज करना सीखोगे. तो आपको इंटीरियर डिजाइन के बारे में नहीं जानना है, बट हमने आपको बेसिक कलर के बारे में बताया. बाकी आप लाइन और फॉर्म्स जो है उनको कैसे डेवलप कर सकते हो, एक कॉम्पोजिशन टोटल कैसे बना सकते हो, उसके बारे में बताया. नाउ दिस कैन बी यूज्ड एनीवेयर. सो वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन इन द चैट, द क्वेश्चन बॉक्स, कि मैं तो फैब्रिक पे करती हूँ, तो am I eligible? Yes, you are very much eligible. We are talking about coatings, sorry, decoration. So we are talking about coatings. तो क्या हम क्लॉथ को नहीं यूज कर सकते हैं किसी सरफेस को डेकोरेट करने के लिए? ऑफ कोर्स हम पैनल्स बना सकते हैं और उसको यूज कर सकते हैं. सो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम. हमने सिर्फ आपको आज बेसिक मीडियम्स बनाए हैं. आप उसका यूटिलाइजेशन कैसे करते हो, हाउ डू यू यूटिलाइज योर स्ट्रेंथ्स अबाउट इट इज ऑल अबाउट दिस. So you identify your strengths and you see this was the basic that was told to us. What new can I bring to it? And that's there. But abhi ke liye, for this particular MCQ, which is on 17th of July, please go through these basics and try to answer as many as questions. I told you there's no negative marking. It's only like in KBC, Amitabh Bachchan used to do, fastest fingers first. So if you have correct answers and you have correct answers in short span of time, you are the winner. But there would be no negative marking. So आपको ध्यान होगा KBC में ऐसा होता था. So there, if there are 5 people who have answered correctly, they would say in what time span you have answered it correctly. So that time span is important. Don't panic. You just give your best. All the best, guys. I think you're all going to win the stage. Any other questions? These are the major questions that I can see in the question box.
So Renuka, there was this question about light. I think I can quickly answer that if I understand correctly what the student was trying to ask. And why? Because in my part of the presentation, I had mentioned about light, that without light, there is no color. And what I meant was there are 2 primary sources of light. One is natural light and the other is artificial light. So when we say natural light, it is mostly the sun, because we get natural light from the sun. And the artificial source of light could be anything, could be a tube light, could be the bulb, could be the torch, etc. And when in the presence of light is only when we can see and perceive a color. So I hope that clarifies the student's doubt.
अगर फिर भी नहीं हो रहा है आप दोबारा पूछ सकते हो. There's a question for you, Priyanka, which states what is spectrum.
Okay, so before that, just to add on to what Richard sir just explained you, see, when I was talking about colors, so when I was talking about red color, yellow color, green color, and many other colors, so what happens if you're taking a red color, you have to be very sure about what natural color you are, what natural light or artificial light you are taking. Because see, if you are taking a yellow color, so the color of red, it will change. Whereas if you're taking a white color, the color of red will change. So that is why there is a very close relationship between what type of a color you are taking and what is the light that you are taking. Yeah, so Renuka, what was your question?
So
Renuka,
I
you
think
just asked, yeah.
in general, we have tried to answer almost all the questions that were there. We'll have, so that today, you know, surprisingly, we have all 6 to 8 students, 9 to 10 students, 11 to 12, all joining together. We also have a webinar tomorrow. In case you have more questions, you can come in and join. We will definitely be repeating what we said today in terms of, in terms of the information that you want to give you, the inputs that we want to give you. You can just kind of brainstorm it today and come tomorrow again. We have that. So today we had a mixed batch. Tomorrow also we can have a mixed batch. So no issues. There is a time constraint and we need to close now for it. Rest of you, if have any questions, can join tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We have an email, juniorskills@pearlacademy.com. So if they have any queries, they can write to us.
Yeah, and then we have webinars, you know, tomorrow also, so they can come there. The teachers have, you know, in general shared it with them, so we have it tomorrow as well. You can have details from your, you know, your teachers when to join. Thank you so much, Tinbing. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Priyanka, Ruchira, Richard, Bela. Thanks for being there. And bye-bye for now, guys. All the best, and you rock the stage. You're going to do it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.